about you. I mean, what you've been up to. Tell us a little bit about the family, not everything, but just more summary, because there's a connection between your family and the whole area. So just give us a little rundown about you and bring us up to date. What you currently doing now?
Well, I'm a countryman,
Yes.
and I'm very well associated with the communities around Moya.
Mm-hmm.
I attended primary school in Moya and at Paraclete here, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm very much integrated into
Yeah.
the
But
whole
did you?
dynamics of the community.
Yeah. Did you used to teach in Moya?
I taught at Grenville Secondary
Oh,
School,
yeah, you were a teacher. I knew you were a
yes, and
teacher.
then I spent some time in Pearls too,
Uh
a
huh.
new school, that is a Christian academy school.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very much involved in the activities, cultural activities, and other literary activities as well too. And now I embark a lot on working with farmers.
Okay.
Yes, I am part of a couple
Farmers
farmers
organize.
organization,
Mm-hmm.
the best practices farmers movement,
Mm-hmm.
and the horticultural cluster that I operate with. It
Mm-hmm.
involves women from an extension of my community, Paraclete, Moya,
Mm-hmm.
Tivoli, etc. We have a couple of us who produce ornamentals and
Mm-hmm.
food crop as well too,
Yeah, yeah.
and we sell and
Mm-hmm.
exhibit to the community.
Yeah. But me and Mr. Pierre always kind of talk here every so often about flowers. You know, we win in this Chelsea thing every year and we best in flowers and all the rest of it. But we don't see in the flowers having an impact in terms of our local community. We don't see our people supplying the hotels flowers. We see a set of people who are from abroad and they probably see a gap in the market and they're supplying the hotels. We don't see, flowers and the greenhouses that we expect to see, in all the communities. You have any ideas why that is? Like every year we hear we win, but I feel disconnected from the flowers.
This is very interesting. Long ago, going as far back as during Uncle Gary's days,
Mm-hmm.
when you reach Granitang, you knew that you actually reach a new part of Grenada.
Uh huh.
It was a kind of boundary mark because it creates that awareness just by the whole fauna up there
Mm-hmm.
and the flora,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so excited. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, the whole of Grenada was basically a flower garden.
Mm-hmm.
Every home had a flower garden,
Mm-hmm.
and that created the aesthetics that people, especially tourists, would have liked to appreciate.
Experience.
And that incorporated, I said fauna before, because you had monkeys and so on, Granitang, you still have few.
Mm-hmm.
And in the lowlands, you find every animal that was authentic
Mm-hmm.
to our communities. Yard falls, for instance, were
Mm-hmm.
very prominent, and that created that kind of unique setting. So
Mm-hmm.
visiting Greda gave you an idea that we are rich.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Our environment was rich
environment
and
was rich
then
and balanced.
made us as people feel rich, I would imagine.
Definitely.
Whilst you were talking, I could imagine going up the heights and the cool place in the granite and how nice it would have felt and how aesthetically pleasing to the eyes. And while you're talking, I'm thinking, how can we recapture that? How can we get that back?
Coexistence with the environment is so important. Um, the trees, the animals, the wildlife,
Mm-hmm.
the foods that we eat, etc.,
Mm-hmm.
all made us what we should be as a people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at documentaries from other countries, those things are highlighted,
Mm-hmm.
and those appreciations are actually fostered and those values are passed on. You cannot exist as an individual if you don't have those other facilities and
Those
to
aspects of
interact
the
with.
environment
Yeah.
that really enhances the environment. So we've always been curious about the flowers, but I don't want to stick too much on the flowers. Although we have to have a national campaign about the flowers, and I don't know who will lead it. Maybe the Minister of the Environment. I know you make beautiful things.
Why not you? Why not the farmers themselves? Why not the growers of flowers themselves? Politicians don't have sense in this thing.
As,
Why not the farmers themselves lead the charge?
as many people can lead the charge, let them lead the charge. But we want it. We want it. If you were listening to what Ezekiel was saying about going over the granite and seeing the range of different flowers and fauna and etc., and he said to me, when he got there, you knew you were in the boundary. Like everybody were kind of, had that kind of garden, flower garden. And it feels to me, I've been away for a long time as well. It seems to me as though we lost that. And it seems to me as though it's something that's very much needed to come back because what Ezekiel was saying, it was what made us uniquely Grenadian. So I look forward, for us getting that back. But Ezekiel, one of the things I had from you recently was pineapple wine. Tell us about that. What's that all about?
Josh, if you permit me, just before you get into the pineapple wine,
Uh-huh.
let me expand a little on the branch of agriculture which we call horticulture. And that deals with the growing of fruits and ornamental plants. And at the moment, there is a move to transform the horticultural branch in Grenada, in so much as the Board of Tourism is organizing to have a miniature activity, just as the Chelsea Flower Show. So we're hoping that something will happen and that stakeholders would come on and work hard towards achieving that.
Yes, at the moment it feels as though we're detached from the Chelsea Flower Show. We hear we win every year, but there is not really a connection locally.
When tourists do come here, they are disappointed because we win gold, but where are the flowers?
Yeah,
It's
where's
so
the flowers?
disconnected. It's so
Yeah.
disconnected. Now, farmers have kind of an attitude towards horticulture. They do not regard it as a serious branch of agriculture, and they prefer to grow food. Not realizing the aesthetic value of ornamentals and also flowers as it relates to crop production. You cannot have fruits and vegetables, some vegetables, without pollination.
Yeah.
This is key. You may have bees, but we need flowers for the bees. And the farmers need both of them, both as aesthetics to the compound and also for pollination.
But there are some schools of thought that says flowers tend to bring out the softer, romantic part of the human race. And that is why Valentine's started, for people to somewhat show love. Sometimes we do a lot, but we're not prepared to show love. And flowers help to bring in that kind of softness, gentleness, romantic side of the human being. And if you observe, some of the few people who grow flowers and take time off in flowers, they are not very quarrelsome people. They tend to be much more gentle and understanding. And you wouldn't hear the name in much confusion in the village. So maybe it's a mentality problem where we have to encourage more people to grow flowers and make money from flowers.
You sure very, very correct. Now, flowers are a real vehicle for showcasing love and affection, and for transferring sentiments at funerals. If there are no flowers, questions would be asked.
See, devil people are dead there.
At a wedding, the
Yeah.
same thing would have taken place.
What kind of man that married no flowers?
During courtship, the same thing happens.
You give her a rose.
A rose,
You break her heart.
definitely. So
Graduation.
at graduation,
Could you imagine you walk inside a office, let's suppose a bank, with a nice bouquet of flowers and hand a woman there?
imagine that.
But particularly if she have a man around the, that do it for him, yes?
That's it.
Dead.
But the whole flower industry, horticulture, as you say, we are a big supporter in terms of this program. Of it, we want to see it, we want to encourage it, and we support the people who are working tirelessly behind the scene to make it a reality. People like yourself, and I'm not too much involved in flowers because I think the romance in me has kind of died.
Maybe you need to reawaken the romance. You remember Solomon? Particularly at that age, you will be more gentle, more understanding, more encouraging. You will put more emphasis on education and human development. So maybe you need to provoke that romantic side.
I'll try and rekindle that.
But the cottage industry in Grenada,
Yeah.
could we say, is it dead or is it alive or needs life support? Gentlemen,
Now, there's a lot of talk about food security and some of the challenges that we face nowadays, especially as it relates to climate-induced phenomena and what it means for our survival. The societies of long ago, they had the formula for ensuring that food was available and accessible and affordable, etc. And Carriacou is a typical example. Carriacou is filled with a lot of survival kits. You know, they grew the crops that were very sustainable, the crops that could be processed very easily, whether by salted means or using sugar, drying. They had the methodologies.
Yeah.
And they would save the okras, for instance, by drying, corn, peas by drying, fish by drying. And although they may have been limited on certain aspects like the availability of fruits, they were able to source that easily from the mainland. And water management was key as well too. Now, the whole framework was properly structured, and that speaks to gender involvement and the youths, etc. They all had a role.
Yeah.
Now, in Grenada, on the mainland, we are more fortunate, but very carelessly, we let that
Tradition.
and that facility slipped away from our hands.
Yeah. Because
And,
when I think about the cottage industry, not meaning to cut you off, what comes to mind is like jellies, guava cheese, tambran ball, mango, all those little things, even goat cheese and all those things. And I don't really, see those things prominent. And I really want to know about your pineapple wine. So don't
Definitely.
go off the program which is telling
Sure,
us
right.
about that. Because that should be selling at Mr. Pierre's shop. I don't see it there.
sure. Yeah, so I use this contrast with using Carriacou as an example, basically, to show how fortunate we were and how fortunate we still are on the mainland Grenada. We were fortunate to have every fruit, every vegetable, etc., being used. And we enjoyed all those delicacies. Our cuisine and gastronomy was top. The family would prepare jams and jellies and candies
Yeah,
and
that's what I
beverages and
remember.
juices, etc.
Yeah.
right at home. And that service the families need. We need not to go to a supermarket to buy snacks that were foreign, that we never knew where they were produced and under what conditions. But our parents and grandparents were experts in those areas. Let's take, for example, things like tamarind balls,
Yeah.
coconut candies,
Yes.
and well, every fruit that is grown here was basically processed to some high quality product, and they would have been stored for time. So you have snacks for playtime, and you have time for school, snacks for schools, and you even have a supply. As children, you have a supply of stuff during the rainy season or during the drought time when there was no fresh fruit from the garden. And we inherited that basically because of our historical orientation. The African influence in us, Indian influence in us. And some of them came from Europe. The Europeans must store their food.
Yeah. I know they used to do a lot of pickles. Down in Cornwall, they had a lot of pickle thing in jams that you could buy from them when you went to that area. And I know, we have a little bit of pickling going on in Grenada.
In fact, I mentioned during Uncle Gary's days, we had several industries on the island. We had coffee plant. We were doing things like ketchup and beans, canned. We also had something to do with the industry. And those things I told you, they had their authentic value because the crops are produced here and they were actually processed here by Grenadian hands using the right techniques, etc., to get shelf life. And the taste was so unique. Some of the stuff that you produce here, nowadays they have to be shipped out, they come back. We do consume them, but the original taste that you would have captured during the preservation, we have lost that.
Yeah.
Why do you think we lost the economic value of the cottage industry?
It's a matter of appreciation for local products, basically.
Well, economic value be a question of money.
Definitely.
The money is supposed to be an incentive.
Sure. But there is a twist to it, Very often when I discuss with people who are involved in the industry and who would like to move on to more advanced processing, they do mention that there is serious competition from the outside. So the folks who actually import and who are protected by the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, they are given that kind of a push, if I use local terms, so that their stuff actually, override those that are produced here.
I think it's to do with branding, and I think it's to do with organizing the cottage industry and giving it added value, because I firmly believe as a society that wants to develop and make money, you're not going to make any money until you move towards industrialization of the cottage industries. And to do that, you have to have the branding and the marketing.
But if you industrialize it, it's not the cottage industry again.
No, when I say industrialization, what I mean is that we have facilities where people could still be part of the cottage industry, but they have a space where they could use the machinery, etc., for themselves, whether it's for a couple of hours or whether it's for half a day, to make their product. Not everybody has to go and buy a machinery that mixes thing or whatever. You can have it in such a way that 50 people could use that
Yes,
facility.
but the cottage industry itself would be lost because now you go to here we used to get konjaks. People dry the konjaks in their home
Yeah.
and they sell it. They provide for themselves and they sell it. And choker was a big thing.
Yeah, yeah.
We wanted choker. We used to have tamban ball and papa balls and etc.
And
because of the wide range
Yeah.
of fruits and vegetables and raw material we
Yeah.
have, why is it
Yeah, but
we lost?
Cocoa Balls is making a comeback and a big comeback because quite
But
often.
not from the cottage industry.
No, they still. I actually buy from the lady across from us, and they still make it, But in terms of moving it forward and making it make money, is how do we scale up in terms of the cottage industry as well? Because if they're making good profit, it will remain.
A number of people that used to use the raw material and make things in their home. Today we have electricity, telephone, water, internet. So they're in a better position. And we have a lot of nice houses in Grenada. A lot of people have houses. So what could we do to provoke people to start to discuss the issue of using the raw material that is around them? I mean, you still have tamban, you still have papa balls. We don't eat all the papa we consume. So why is it we're still holding konjaks,
Yeah.
jacks, but we ain't conning it.
Yeah. And getting the facilities right for the contracts is quite important as well. But I'm fortunate in terms of the cottage industry because I have a cousin who is very much into that. In terms of the mango, she slices it, dehydrate it, all the fruits, etc. And we have it in the family, but it's not something that she does commercially and send to the shop or whatever. But pickles she does, the mango she does, guava she does, and all of those things. But very small scale family.
So that is why we're asking, is the cottage industry dead, dying, or on life support? Because in a country like ours, with such a wide range of raw material, we have electricity, telephone, water, internet. We better than most countries in the Caribbean. We're comparable with the best, and we're second to none. There are some places in the Caribbean, they have to use water through. We have the system. Why is it? We seem to have a culture where we walk over these things.
Yes, let me culture is important. And what Josh has said about the packaging, etc., creates kind of a competition that they will meet up with our local folks. Deculturalization, because of heavy advertising from bigger producers, you find, and packaging, you find that our local products are actually pushed aside. And that has been a big problem for the youths especially.
The taste buds.
Yes, taste buds. And all this make it difficult for our local produce to reach a level where it's being consumed and become in demand.
Yeah.
For instance, those highly processed material from outside with beautiful packaging, how do they match our local produce in terms of taste, the flavor, and so on?
They can't match it.
They can't match.
I actually went to a tasting competition in Florida many years ago, and I always remember our avocado compared to the Mexican avocado. Mexicans, I love all of you, so I'm not trying to put you down. But Grenada avocado is a special avocado.
Sure.
It's a unique taste in avocado. And these are one of the things some of the people have talked about. How do we get our niche out there? Because when I've been in Cornwall and Devon, where they make a lot of this kind of homemade cottage industry, they package it in a unique way, not the kind of glossy, fancy packaging. But when you get the packaging, you know that is authentic, original. And I think there is a market, for that. And I think as much as I believe our cottage industry has gone to sleep a little, I think it can be awakened without much of a push.
This government is making an effort to centralize the processing and the production of stuff that was done basically by centralized homes. And they have thought about using a building in St. David's and procuring state-of-the-art equipment. But what is necessary is actually to go back to the grassroots people, get some research done in terms of the methodologies that they use, and whatever other techniques that they had in terms of processing, because our cocoa, especially our locally made cocoa, has a flavor that is unmatched. Whoever produces it on the outside, they will notice that when they come home to Grenada, it's authentic.
Yeah.
And
I had cocoa tea this morning, so I know what you're talking about.
right, sure, right. And every brand from every home is so unique. But no one can say that they have drank a bad cocoa tea, so to speak.
That's
Right?
what I'm saying. Cocoa balls in New York is insulted, man. Get me some cocoa. Get me some cocoa ball. Like, I buy cocoa balls from the lady next to us,
Right.
and I can't get enough because my friends, where you get it? Get me a package. Get me a package. Cocoa balls is a real demand. If we could keep the price and the packaging, it's something to behold. We don't have to sell our cocoa to Holland or England. We could be processing home.
So there are hundreds of small opportunities here in terms of cottage industry. Just getting back to my pineapple wine.
Yes.
There are a lot of producers of pineapple plants, pineapples, and pineapple products
Yeah.
on this island here, on the
And-
eastern seaboard.
Yeah. And
And,
thank you. When I picked you up this morning, you had a pineapple in your hand
Ready for you.
for me. So thank you.
So we
Carry
supply plants to farmers. We also share information on the cultivation of pineapples. And we produce product on pineapples that will extend.
Where do you
The line.
do this manufacturing?
Well, we do at home.
At home.
Yes, at
And
home.
this is what we want people to understand. The cottage industry is when you run a business on manufacturing at your home. We have enough room. You see, we have to let people know Grenada is very fortunate. We have the most land owners in Grenada. Whereas in New York City, and you must know that about Josh, they live in apartment blocks and they live in underground cells. In Grenada, we have a home. So we are better able to find economic use of the cottage industry. We conduct business or manufacturing in your home. We know it's going to be a small scale.
Yeah.
How could we provoke people? Why is it we had more people yesteryear turning their hand? That is a language they used to. Girl, turn your hand, turn your hand. Don't sit down and wait on man. Turn your hand. The people were making coconut oil. And they was doing it at their home. And a lot of people did that and educate the children and improve themselves.
And those things are quite possible, even during this special present period. Sometimes we are scared that probably the product may not be up to standard. But the Bureau of Standard here does provide facilities for that, so they could train the homeowners to reach HACCP standards, so that at least you can produce for home, for the community, and for the wider clientele that you have.
Yeah, knowing what
Yes.
you're producing is safe and edible.
That's it. Now, every home in Grenada is practically an owner of some plot. So you may be producing for the market, the commercial market, or for your home. And in order to get everyone involved, especially the women and children involved, I think the activities have to be extended to the point where you produce, or you also have stuff that has extended shelf life, or even for marketing. And there are values that every family has. It becomes a legacy of the family. In the case of winemaking, I inherited that from my father. And he was able to produce quality wine during his time.
And he did it at his home.
At his home. And so I decided to use the stuff from my garden, be it passion fruit, cherries, you have pineapple, French cashew, etc., that you do not let go to waste. In fact, it has been recognized that more than 30% of the food that is being produced on farms in Grenada go to waste, probably because of mismanagement during the production of the crop, the post-harvest management, etc. And if we can utilize mango...
I have to interrupt you on that.
Yes.
Because that is significant. 20 to 30%
It's your
of
profit.
the things we produce in Grenada go to waste. Through poor harvesting practice, rodents, bad storage,
During
that's a
transportation as well, too.
and during transportation.
Yes. And there must be some formula in terms of addressing that problem. And I think we were able to do things a lot better when we had less technology. Less technology in terms of post-harvest management and knowledge transfer. All those things in terms of storage, better facilities. But the homeowners before were more equipped with their traditional knowledge, and they were able to handle that, through cottage industries.
And I remember growing up with my grandmother, we had pigs and we had chickens in the yard and we had rabbits. I can't remember if we had cow. Yes, we had cows. We had 2 cows, And I remember the cycle in terms of the food production. I was never a lover of blogger. Grandma used to give me blogger. As soon as she turned she head, I thrown it for the pigs. So the recycling was going on, I mean, there were corn. She used to do things with corn, and I know the chickens was wrong.
What you used to use with yes, you feed the chicken with the corn. What else you used to feed chicken with?
I don't remember.
The woodants.
Yeah.
They used to send the children, particularly the boys, to go and get woodants to feed the chicken. And an average home would have 100 laying fowl.
It was an ecological system that was existing without us knowing what the word meant at the time.
we call that a closed loop.
Where
you tend to use everything on the farm. Goes in a cycle, as I say.
Let me see if I can get in this collar inside.
Yes.
Collar, you there? Hello, collar? No, not getting. How do you get his collar inside?
We need Gates back.
This is collar.
Yes.
Try again.
In a closed loop system, there is no wastage on a farm because you consume a part of what you produce for food in the house. You feed the animals, and the animal waste goes into doing composting, etc., that gets back into the land.
Yes, color.
Production.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning, three doctors. Another doctor join you again.
Good. No, yeah, we have another doctor this morning.
Okay, so hey, everybody. Good morning to that new person.
Good morning.
I'll tell you something, Mr. K. I don't want to take too much of your time, but let me go back to a previous program we did where you emphasize the level of our certification and our science subject. It tied me right into what I call the we certificate ourselves. In other words, but we don't go to the practical aspect of things. You see? So all we have is a certificate, and we do not go beyond the certificate to create, right? So we stay there, and that is not helping us well. So we're in the academics, but we don't go in the creation aspect of what we learn. And so that is hindering us to a great deal. Now, to the cottage industry, listen to the gentleman as he mentioned his pineapple wine.
Yes.
And Dr. Lewis.
Yes.
You're right. Mr. Pierre is arguing with you. If you're going to upscale this thing, you move away from the cottage. But we cannot really stay in the cottage because of the size of the population and the cost of doing things. So we have to go between the cottage and industrialize. Yeah? Mm-hmm. And we have to, because you see, you can't go into these things not making money. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to stick to the cottage industry where everybody do their own thing in a little way, the cost of doing things will be too high, and then nobody will be able to obtain anything. Mm-hmm. So we have to go between the cottage and the industrial to upscale. Mm-hmm. But that has to tie into the tourism sector.
Yeah. You make a very good link, because the tourism sector, what sometimes local population are willing to pay $10, the tourism sector is willing to pay $30 for.
You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Quite so. So if we don't gravitate to that, the cottage industry will not work. Mm-hmm. You see? So we have to upscale tourism, not 400,000 visitors per year, but we're talking about 4 million visitors per year. And that, because you see, we cannot contemplate on export because we cannot compete. Our price will be too high for the export market. Locally, sector, So I'm saying to you, so with respect to all the fruits that we have here, wine, we can have the biggest wine market in the Caribbean because we have a wide variety of fruits. So what we do, rather than do a selective item for making wine, we combine it. So we put the hog plum, we put the golden apple, we put the banana, we put all these things in one winery, one pot, and we come up with a classic Grenada wine. So we call it the Grenada classic wine. Mm-hmm. And that takes into consideration all the fruits that we have into one, so that we will get away from the waste.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Whilst we're trying to grow from 1, 2 and 3 is wasting, where they can do the same thing. So we'll come up with a unique flavor that the world will want. Now, I'm going to copyright that, so when you do it, so I'm going to be calling on you for a check.
For your royalties. Yeah, sure. Right.
So I want you to try this because it's going to work. I used to be making wine. I don't make it anymore because I don't drink wine anymore. I used to be making that. And let me challenge you with another one. Stay close to the Munich people so you can get the cassava waste, the water. After you remove the starch from that, you bring that into a boil, into a thick, dark syrup. You know Bovril?
No.
Bovril is what you're going to get in the supermarket. And if you look at the Bovril, when you complete your cassava gel, it will be a Bovril. It's very tasty, I used to be using this in my meat. Just as you use the bovril in the meat, I used to be using that in my meat. It's not a poison because by then all the cyanide is gone. So you have this nice dark syrup that you
Yes.
take a teaspoon and you put it in your meat. to
Okay.
cook it After, right?
Yeah.
Now I know what you're
Don't
talking
let the
about.
cassava juice waste.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
But let me, Mr. Pierre, for you, let me briefly touch on this because it's hurting me and it's hurting all of us.
Mm-hmm.
We hearing today that there's a body found in Trinidad Tobago without limbs, hand, and foot in a box. Yeah? We're also hearing that Mayor Motley, security chief, is talking about the proliferation of guns on the Barbados market.
Mm-hmm.
We're hearing that in the entire region.
Mm-hmm.
The guns is playing in Grenada.
Mm-hmm.
Yet we are talking CSME, which is spreading the criminals throughout the Caribbean when we are the least crime country.
Mm-hmm.
And I am warning spreading the region's criminals. Do away with the C, and I'm saying that from the beginning because I see it. I saw it coming. So it's happening now. It's not strange to me, but I'm worried because young people are being caught up in it. So I'm saying to our leaders, please, do not discuss the CSME anymore because we have CARICOM that is not working. The CCJ is not working, it's working against us through CLICO. So these bodies is not doing us good. We can manage without these bodies. Last but not least, I want to send a clarion call to the people of Malmont, Pomrose, and Latant, yeah, who are riling up the young people to commit crime. You are standing in the way of genuine community development because what they're doing is hurting. I have a case on, and I can't say it on the radio, but I have a case on Hanno where we're trying to develop a community, and they are pushing the young people to create crime. We are challenged. We are threatened. I am warning. What we are doing here is to change status quo on the ground to create or to prevent what is happening to the young people. So I'm asking these people, and some of them are teachers, please stop standing in the way of genuine community development because you are going to put the young people in a worse of situation and you will be taking away the future that we're trying to secure for them. I hope this sinking to all and sundry.
Yes, scholar.
Have a good day, sir.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thank you for your contribution.
Yes, that was interesting one. We'll have to do a program on crime, and I always take the approach because I firmly believe we could reduce crime in the Caribbean over the next
Yeah, but
5-10 years.
I'm more interested
cottage.
in the Bovril.
Yeah. The cottage industry.
Yeah.
We have to see how we could provoke our people to continue to develop the cottage industry. There are too much people that have too much raw material. They have access to raw material, and they are not using it.
The caller made some very important points. In the first instance, he talked about moving from the cottage industry to the more industrialized aspect of it. And that is something that needs to be given attention because let's say, for instance, he mentioned the people who deal with cassava and farine at Munich. How can we transform that industry? Because the thing is that these people have been operated under, ancient...
And they can't even produce.
Yeah.
Can produce.
You have less people
Yes.
involved in that industry.
Less people are involved because the youths have moved away and they find other lucrative areas to work in.
Yeah, but let me share something with you that I came across recently. It was circulating on the internet. Nigeria is the farmers are making millions from the cassava because they're using the cassava instead of the for flour instead of the wheat. So we have to get our act together. We're sitting on gold mine, but it's the way that we use it. So sorry, you continue.
So youth have not been involved in the production of farine, which is the main produce.
Get it
Right, for
technological.
These people have not mechanized their operations. One, there might be very little documentation. So, what the older folks know at the moment, those things could be disappeared. No research is being done. Cassava, for instance, is used for making wine and beers and, as I said, flour. And in terms of food security, in terms of storage of food for hard times, farming is key. The fisher folks should have farming in the boats. Should be part of the regulation, not creeks, but farming. So we have moved away from what we should be doing. Something else, and let me point out that this industry is so significant because it involves the ladies. And if you're looking for gender equity, this is one of the industry that actually caters to that. Notice that the youths are moving away from agriculture, but we do have a good percentage pass in agricultural science every year, sometimes 100%. Why are they moving away? It means that they have not learned anything because there is no change in attitude. Right. So he talks about the practical aspect of things, which is important. And I don't know what background this man has, but he's a doctor, as I said. And
No, he says doctor in fun.
yeah. So we need to find out what is the root cause in terms of the migration from agriculture after you have studied for 5 years in school. It means that you're not going back to the actual operation on the farm, nor are they getting involved in post-harvest practices like agro-processing at home, which we call the cottage industry. So something has been done. But I've noticed too that the people who do food and nutrition here, they use foreign texts.
Oh,
So they need not to get back to our local produce because everything could be sourced on the outside. If you tell a child about shadow benny and making season, as Mr. P had mentioned before, those things are far-fetched. You have to get green seasoning from Trinidad, classic. You know, so the home industry can dismiss all means that usually.
the challenge is we're not short of ideas, we're not short of, but we're short of implementation because these are all potential money-making, entrepreneurial kind of stuff, sustaining, and there's so much better because the farine that turns into flour in England, it carries a premium price now, and the Nigerian farmers are boasting how much of them have turned millionaire on that.
The cost of farine is alarming here, right? And sometimes $20 per pound.
Oof.
Yes. So why are we not giving attention to an industry like that? Something is wrong. And talking about food security, having safe food is important. Those stuff that are highly processed that we are consuming they cannot compete what is produced at home, right? And let's take, for instance, the alarming incidence of cancer on this island. In the region,
We're one of the highest per capita.
we could be the highest.
Oh, God.
And it's all because of food that is produced or processed under strange conditions. If you have foods that you do not know whether they are safe or not, you shouldn't consume.
Yeah.
2, if the food comes from a foreign source, it's not the best. Human beings and animals thrive best on the foods that are produced within the ecosystem,
Yeah.
right?
Fresh.
Yeah, so and the cancer and non-communicable diseases that we have here could be largely attached to the foreign foods that we eat.
Yeah, but also
The foreign companies would seriously take it to task for that.
yeah.
And particularly when we don't have the necessary scientific background, backing and that.
Yes.
We are also a large importer of chemicals.
Sure.
The bacon and other products that are banned in other countries.
Yeah.
So it's not only the food that is produced in our ecosystem, the economic system, the ecosystem that we have, but also the amount of chemicals
Sure.
that we have been importing. In fact, Grenada, the amount of chemicals we bring in the OECS countries, I think enough.
Supply the world.
1.1 OECS country enough for all of that.
Yeah.
Over the years, we have wrangled with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So definitely, while we encourage, it's a point,
Yeah.
we still have to.
Yeah, but I want to interject this little point, and we have to kind of look at this exporting of soursop, because soursop is supposed to have properties in
You
it.
mean we must export more?
No, let me finish my point. We need to, the soursop have properties that are supposed to be helpful in terms of fighting cancer. And we need to export more soursop, but we need to use more soursop products locally. Soursop tea is beautiful, and in Hermitage you get the best soursop leaves up there. We need to use the soursop product from the soursop. I want to export more and more soursop, but I also want to use soursop locally in Grenada to help this cancer thing.
What percentage of the soursop that we produce we consume locally?
Oh God.
1%.
Yeah, if.
All right. So that is.
Yeah.
But we must try to provoke our people. There's a lot of people that could do things at their home,
Sure.
that could produce things at their home, that could manufacture things at their home, and could consume it for themselves and their neighbors.
Sure.
Long ago, you used to pass around and people were known that you could have get whether it's sugar cake or dog teeth or ice cream or potato pudding
Yes, I don't see
from
much
some
of that.
people.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
now
yeah.
you're struggling to get that.
Yeah. You make a good point.
And we have to determine what is causing our people not to produce more. Because we're in a better position now to produce than yesteryear because of technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just reflect a little bit on the safety, food safety. In the U.S., Roundup has caused the chemical producing people to pay off large sums of money to farmers. It's well known. And
Roundup has killed.
Roundup has killed a lot of people.
Oh.
And in Grenada, for instance, we are exposed to those chemicals. Roundup was banned in 2015 at the Paris Convention. I believe that all the Roundup that was around the world came to Grenada as a result of that.
Not Grenada alone, but to
Yeah.
the OECS.
Yeah, the OECS.
Yeah.
And Gramazone
Yeah.
has been there, banned since in the 80s.
When the brownie get cheaper down here.
Yes, and it
Yeah.
got cheaper here. And folks, the farmers who are following those developments would understand that it's still a little safe to buy.
Yeah. And the people who were using this Gramazone to spray the banana over the field, later on, as an adult, I saw some of them, and to use a old-fashioned term, they look as though they had some kind of tutul bay. You know. And
Most of them disappeared.
Yeah, I was
know?
very sorry what happened to them.
Yes.
Because I could
Yes.
physically see it on them,
Right.
the impact of that Gramazone on their quality of life and how they were operating. And at the time, I didn't realize how serious it was. I just thought they get a little shake from the Gramazone or something.
Dangerous. Well, let me use this background to just elaborate a little bit on the cottage industry.
Yeah.
Things like damsel, French cashew,
Yes.
mangoes, plums. Do they need chemicals to produce? And in the cottage industry, we have been exploiting those stuff. And I think from that standpoint, this is the safest way to go around.
Okay, wonderful.
Eat local,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to make a point because the fingers has gone up from the technical team. We have about 4 minutes left now, 3. I want to make the point, and the point that I want to make is that the cottage industry is not a mass-produced industry, and therefore the products that comes from that industry, it may well cost a little bit more, but it's unique. It's not mass branded, So don't kind of compare apple to oranges. We want the cottage industry back, and as Ezekiel just said, there are certain things that doesn't need any chemical in it at all. And I know the opposition political leader is coming on, and I can say to you with confidence, I used to deliver to her local chicken because she ordered local chicken. All right.
Yes, gentlemen, as we come closer to the time, remember on this program we provoke discussion. We don't have time to come up with solutions. We provoke discussion. And every time we speak, people tell me about young people and children not producing, and I don't agree with them. The old people have to do it. The home owners, the mothers and the fathers inside the house, you could do better. Whether it's dog teeth, chip, coconut warp, papa balls, honey, or flowers.
Yeah.
Plant the flowers. If the women talk more about flowers, the men might get more nice and romantic. Yes.
Yeah, I just want to say to Ezekiel, thank you so much for coming, sharing all your knowledge, provoking us, and please do come back. It's been a joy chatting with you and listening to you.
Well, I would not have tell him thanks. I tell him come back on the program with greater regularity. And I will tell you thanks after.
Well, thank you. I appreciate everything. And let me just leave one point with you. The cottage industry is the cradle. It's the best orientation we can have for business ventures on our island.
Yes, we want to thank you very much, and particularly our listeners and the gentleman who was lucky enough to get to us. Remember, on that program, we provoke discussion, and we continue immediately, maybe in the next few minutes. We'll have the opposition leader here, and we'll be talking about this and that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
473 standing strong is yours, The medium and opportunity for you, let you contribute and let them know. Democracy in Spice Isles is alive and well. Ask you questions, sing and beat you drum. Make you suggestions, encourage them on to walk the straight and narrow in the land. Politics, religion, and socio-economic issues, regional, international, spiritual issues too, agricultural, environmental, and trending to subject matter. We fear none, we back down.